They say you can't fly without wings, but Jacob Byrd's pit maneuvers might prove otherwise. On February 22, 2025, Trooper Jacob Byrd was patrolling Interstate 630 westbound when a gold Honda Accord sped past his patrol vehicle. Byrd quickly observed that neither the driver nor the passenger were wearing seatbelts, prompting him to activate his emergency lights and sirens to conduct a traffic stop. Instead of yielding, the Honda accelerated, refusing to stop, initiating a pursuit. The pursuit escalated to speeds of 90 miles per hour, prompting Trooper Byrd to seize a safe opportunity and execute a pit maneuver, causing the Honda to veer sharply right, strike the concrete barrier, and slide along the wall before coming to a stop. Immediately after the impact, the passenger opened the door, clutching a rifle and a backpack, which he hurled over the barrier before fleeing westbound on foot. He crossed the median toward Baptist Health, where Byrd pursued and apprehended him without further incident. Troopers recovered the discarded rifle and backpack, which contained 6 ounces of marijuana. The firearm was identified as a Diamondback AR. Throughout the pursuit and aftermath, the driver remained in the vehicle, making no attempt to flee further. The driver, identified as Nakendra Gordon, was charged with fleeing, reckless driving, and no seatbelt. The passenger, identified as Cameron Carson, was charged with fleeing, tampering with evidence, possession with intent to deliver, simultaneous possession of drugs and firearms, and no seatbelt. On September 16, 2022, Trooper Byrd was patrolling the interstate when he observed 2 Dodge Chargers actively racing at a high rate of speed. After several minutes of pursuit, Byrd located one of the Chargers near a gas station and attempted to initiate a traffic stop. However, the driver refused to comply and accelerated away once again, triggering a pursuit.
We are going west on 60 west on 60 reversing. There's a gate at the end of this, and he's coming back out of it. I'll just throw my car full of this.
Shortly after, Byrd caught up to the fleeing Charger and executed a pit maneuver, causing the vehicle to strike an entry gate. The driver briefly regained control and attempted to flee once more, but Byrd reacted swiftly, striking the Charger head-on, which fully disabled his patrol unit. Additional units arrived shortly after and boxed the suspect vehicle in, bringing the pursuit to an end. The driver was taken into custody without further incident and charged with fleeing, reckless driving, driving while intoxicated, and failure to wear a seatbelt. On August 14, 2021, the Arkansas State Police engaged in a pursuit involving a blacked-out SUV displaying fictitious tags. Trooper Byrd promptly responded to the scene, taking over as the primary unit in the pursuit.
50. South on Schiller. South on Schiller crossing 19.
Byrd swiftly moved in and attempted a pit maneuver, but the effort proved unsuccessful. The driver managed to regain control of the SUV and continued fleeing.
You wrecked out, started 1016.
Cars Medical, Wolfie 19.
The driver attempted to flee at a high rate of speed, but failed to notice a sharp curve in the roadway, causing him to collide with a parked vehicle and overturn along the left shoulder. Troopers quickly responded. pulling the driver from the wrecked SUV and taking him into custody without further incident. He was transported to the county jail, where he was booked on charges of fleeing and reckless driving. On July 9, 2022, Trooper Byrd was patrolling the interstate when he observed a white Dodge Charger traveling at 90 miles per hour in a posted 65 zone. Byrd quickly caught up and attempted to initiate a traffic stop, but as the driver appeared to be pulling over, he suddenly accelerated, initiating a vehicle pursuit.
South on Shackford. Faithful conflict. Past 36.
While fleeing, the driver disregarded multiple red lights, endangering the safety of other motorists. Midway through the pursuit, the passengers extended their hands out of the windows in a clear gesture of surrender, yet the driver continued to flee, showing complete disregard for their safety and of others on the roadway.
We just turned right to go back to the stagecoach. We're on stagecoach change over there. Trying to get into a neighborhood back here where it's turning on stage. Speed 70.
Once the roadway cleared, Byrd seized the opportunity and executed a precise pit maneuver, causing the Charger to spin out and become disabled in the middle of the roadway. The driver was taken into custody without further incident, while the passengers were temporarily detained and later released. The front seat passenger, identified as the driver's girlfriend, was undoubtedly unimpressed by his reckless attempt to flee. The driver was transported to the county jail, where he was charged with fleeing and reckless driving. On March 1, 2025, Trooper Byrd was patrolling the interstate when he observed a black Chrysler 300 traveling above the posted speed limit. Upon running the vehicle's registration, Byrd discovered it had no insurance and proceeded to initiate a traffic stop. The Chrysler initially appeared to comply and pulled over, but the moment Byrd exited his patrol unit, the driver fled the stop, initiating a pursuit.
At 28 Arkansas Avenue on Charles 134. Still southbound on Shackelford. I'm fixing the TBI. It's Shackelford and Ethan Allen. LTVI. Continuing southbound on Shackelford. Heading toward right now. Shackelford is trying to duck into a neighborhood back here. Stop. Another bell TDI. He tried to stop and brake check me multiple times.
Byrd moved in and attempted a pit maneuver, but it was unsuccessful. The driver then stopped the Chrysler in the oncoming lane and fled on foot. Byrd quickly pursued and apprehended him in a nearby church parking lot. The suspect resisted arrest, prompting Byrd to deploy his taser, after which he was taken into custody without further incident. A search of the driver revealed a small baggie of marijuana and several pills. The driver was transported to the county jail and booked on charges of fleeing, reckless driving, resisting arrest, possession of a controlled substance, driving with a suspended license, and operating without insurance. On March 28, 2023, while patrolling the interstate, Trooper Byrd observed a black Mercedes displaying fictitious license plates. When he attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the driver accelerated, prompting Byrd to initiate a vehicle pursuit. During the pursuit, the Mercedes driver recklessly ran multiple red lights at high speeds, and just before approaching another intersection, the passenger threw a blue bag out of the vehicle window. The driver continued to flee, and the pursuit remained ongoing. After several minutes of high-speed pursuit, Byrd finally caught up to the fleeing Mercedes. He moved in and executed a PIT maneuver, causing the vehicle to spin out and become fully disabled in the roadway. Both the driver and passenger were taken into custody without further incident. During the arrest, the driver revealed that she had been forced to flee by the passenger, who had allegedly held a gun to her head. The previously tossed blue bag was recovered, containing a handgun and a small baggie of suspected marijuana. Both individuals were transported to the county jail and charged accordingly. On March 4, 2025, Trooper Byrd was patrolling Interstate 430 southbound when he observed a gray Toyota Avalon traveling without a license plate. The driver repeatedly veered onto the right fog line, failing to maintain their lane of travel. As the vehicle reached Colonel Glen, Byrd attempted to initiate a traffic stop, but the driver refused to yield, prompting Byrd to initiate a high-speed pursuit.
46 Rock. We all started nothing into me. We're eastbound on Colonel Glen. That's a Toyota. He's got his flashers on, just slow roll.
The pursuit continued until the Toyota reached a Circle K, where the vehicle suddenly stopped, giving the appearance that the driver intended to surrender. However, moments later, the driver exited the gas station and continued fleeing, reigniting the pursuit.
70, no traffic right now. Notify LRPD, please. He just crashed out. Just crashed out before the stagecoach.
While attempting to navigate an S-curve, The driver veered off the roadway to the left, causing the Toyota to become disabled near Colonel Glenn and Allard Drive. As the vehicle came to a stop, a black male wearing a white tank top and red pants exited and fled on foot into the nearby woods. A search of the Toyota revealed a small glass jar of THC wax. Backup units soon arrived, including a K-9 team and a drone unit, but they were unable to locate the suspect. Although the driver was not apprehended, officers were able to confirm his identity, and warrants are being issued for fleeing, reckless driving, possession of a controlled substance, failure to affix license plates, and driving with a suspended license.